In this video, let us talk about IT governance. So first start with corporate governance before we speak about IT governance. So when you look at an organization's structure, the shareholders, owners of the company, they have the main interest in the company is to sustain the value of the company and even enhance the value so they can get the benefit for the investments what they made. So that is their interest. And there are board of directors who are appointed by the major shareholders of the company, and their intention or interest or they have these duties are organizations to perform towards the set of objectives and enhance the value to the shareholders. So board of directors responsibility to give the objectives and to monitor so that the company is moving towards enhancing the value to the shareholders. And board of directors communicate that to the executives. Executives' job is to inform the strategy and objectives to the management staff and review the performance of operations because executives are making sure the execution is happening and management is the team or people who are running day-to-day operations and fulfilling the customer needs. So we're looking at the org structure from shareholders to board of directors to executives to the management. So where does corporate governance comes here? The corporate governance is between board of directors and executives. Their main interest is to make sure what are the do's and don'ts of the company, define the policies, or define the direction so that the management have something to follow on and build on top of it. So that is what corporate governance is. So that includes the policies, regulations, and growth objectives or sustainability. It can go into multiple forms, but to our concern, how does corporate governance influence IT governance? So corporate governance have a direct influence on IT governance, or in other words, IT governance is a subset of corporate governance. And what does IT governance do? It tells what IT should do. We can say that IT should deliver value with a strategic alignment to the company. And how it should do? By using resources and managing the risk. It's kind of a guardrails like do's and don'ts and policies and principles. Those are all comes into here. So corporate governance sets certain kind of a direction which kind of directly implies to IT governance, and IT governance takes it further and sets policies, guardrails, or do's and don'ts, whichever way. We can look into more details, all these things in next videos. What IT should do, what IT shouldn't do, and how to use best use of resources and manage the risk. So what happens if proper governance is not there? I think this is best way to look at how governance can help. So one way to see here is, or these are the points here is, organization is not seeing the value of IT. So if there is no governance, that means there is no alignment between the business and IT. That means the business may not be seeing the value of IT. Conflicts and frustration between IT and business units. If there is no alignment, if the governance is not succeeding the job or the governance is not there, business might be saying let's go to north and IT might be saying let's go to south. So there are conflicts between those two teams. And shadow IT units forming. If business is not able to get what they want from IT, then they may say, okay, let's hire our own IT people and get the job done. So they have shadow ITs forming. It's kind of a representation of a bad governance in the company, IT governance. Auditing finds gaps in compliance to regulatory requirement. If governance is not there, maybe the policies are not followed properly and proper controls are not there in terms of security or regulatory requirements. Duplication of initiatives and applications. If, especially in large organizations, let's say one business line wants an application and same application is needed by some other business line. So they may not be talking to each other. Or if governance is the one who's supposed to keep an control on uh, to avoid these duplicated efforts and build synergies to reduce the cost and efficiencies. So if the governance is not there, there are duplicated efforts and initiatives and even applications for the same purpose. Unreliable service from outsourced vendors. If governance is not there, maybe we're not holding the vendors accountable, and vendors may not be meeting their SLAs, service level agreements, and they may not be providing the reliable services to the business. And there might be more incidents or security incident, data loss, system failures, which are disrupting the business. And there can be high cost to run IT. If governance is not there, it's causing duplicated efforts, causing lack of control on the cost, might run into high cost to maintain IT, even when you compare with the benchmarking with other companies in the industry. And data quality and integration issues. Business runs on data. It needs data to understand how the business is going, how to make decisions for the future plans. It depends on data. So if data quality and integration issues between the applications are there, then business cannot be able to make proper decisions and act on them. So lack of governance might cause data quality issues or application integration issues, and which again disrupts business. One of the last thing here is it can cause project failures or extending the timelines. If governance is not there, maybe they didn't follow the plans, they didn't consider all the risks in that. Maybe resources not utilize it properly. So projects may fail or the timelines may be extended. So these are some of the examples of what happens if proper governance is not there. So to look at it again, the same point of governance, enterprise IT governance is aligned with the business objectives and deliver value. How? Utilize the resources and optimize the risk with proper guardrails. And the same thing we can see into these four parts of governance: strategic alignment, resource management, risk management, and value delivery. We have been talking about strategic alignment all along, which we will continue talking about it. But we do have separate sections for separate chapters or videos for
Welcome
resource
to
management, risk
section.
management, and value delivery. So one thing is clear that governance is not same as management. Both have to be treated as separate. And you can see management is planning what to do, building it, and then running applications or services. So it's a plan, build, run, which is what we're going to see in the following sections later. But in now, governance is alignment with the business needs, resource utilization, risk management, and value delivery. So IT governance is an oversight and guardrails for plan, build, run activities. Purpose of IT governance is to deliver the value to stakeholders while maximizing resource utilization and optimizing the risk. So um, the important point here in this section is alignment. So there can be multiple stakeholders. We will look into more, but alignment is a critical aspect. So to conclude this video, governance should be dynamic and it should reflect on market variables and driving factors, including regulations, industry standards, and even frameworks too. So let's take an example. I don't know whether it is a perfectly matching to this example, but it can tell you the story here. Let's say you're a customer getting into a Uber car, and Uber driver is driving you from point A to point B. So you are the customer, and driver is the management of the vehicle. So driver's job is to take your need, your customer. So take your need, which is go to the destination B from point A and drive you over there. So you have a customer, you have the management. Now who's governance here? The GPS, what he's holding is governance, or the Uber company who's monitoring the GPS is governing him in terms of the do's and don'ts for the driver. The do's are take the customer safely and with a decent clean environment in your car and drive to the destination B, point B here. And what are the don'ts? Don't trouble the customer or don't violate the rules, the policies of the company. So these are the do's and don'ts. And also, we can see more that GPS is acting little more close governance, because if the driver misses the direction, GPS is saying, hey, you are going in the wrong direction, correct yourself. On top of that, what governance is giving the driver is, driver knows that his car movement is tracked very well in the company through this GPS. So driver, who's a manager in this context, knows that his work is tracked and monitored. So he is obligated to give his best behavior to the customer. So governance is ensuring the customer needs are met with the proper do's and don'ts for in this case. Another example here is governance should be dynamic. I worked in a few company, which is a traditional company. It was against to let employees to access that Gmail, Facebook. But over the period, what happened is business saw the need to hire young generation employees. But new generation employees are not joining the company because company's persona was more strict and traditional, not allowing people to access these social media websites or even Gmail kind of things. So they understood the need of market influence. So to attract young talent, they have to adjust their policy. So they said, okay, to give access to allow people to access Facebook or Instagram in the workspace. So at one point of time it was seen as a taboo, prohibited. Later they changed it. So the governance, it gives an example that governance can be changeable to accommodate the needs of the trend or the market needs or business needs. So let's end this. This is the summary of this section of IT governance is to ensure value is delivered to the business by utilizing the resources and managing the risks.